are in the semi-finals.
How many will we score? That'll be fascinating.
Yes, indeed. We are going to be seeing MIBR again tomorrow when the semi-finals do begin. And, of course, it is time to outline some of those plays that made it all possible. It's time to take a little look at the Mountain Dew AMP Game Fuel Power Play over at the Telestrator.
The Mountain Dew AMP Game Fuel Power Plays.
What have you got for me, Jacob?
I mean, Alex, we found something from the man himself, Taco, showing up big time on Dust 2. The score is currently 6-4 for MIBR. They're pressured on the money, as you can see. They're leading 6-4. It's a very close game, but Taco decides no more. Now, what happens in this clip is that you can see you have three Renegades players moving up towards the window in a B-split. You have Taco down here in this position, and you have Fur over here doing a little crossfire. Fur covering the door, Taco the window. Now, you may ask to yourself, why is Renegades going 3 guys inside the window? Well, there is a risk that you can get shot from middle over the smoke, so they're doing the right thing. Now, if we play out the clip, you can just see how Taco says no more. He gets 1, 2, 3, all down, focused towards the dark area, and gets the 4th kill as well. If you see it from his point of view as well, you can see how he quickly reacts, quickly rotates into the position, and this is what Taco brings to MIBR. A rock-solid player that can bring in these moments of brilliance when needed the most. He's not the strongest player on MIBR, but he's definitely a very valuable member of the team.
I mean, we saw what happened when they don't have him. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jacob. And this is MIBR finding form. I hate that position. The where Taco is in, I don't think I've successfully cleared it once on a retake.
I think a cool thing about that clip is the 3rd kill that Taco gets there. I think that's an AUG one-shot to Gratisfaction. He had 97 HP and he died, I'm pretty sure, to just 1 headshot, which wouldn't happen with the M4.
There you go. I mean, this is a weapon that has found its infamous presence at the Major due to a slight reduction in price. The weapon has not changed. And now when you put a weapon like that, with capabilities like that, in the hands of players like that, well, it's fat. It's awesome. It really is. Now, let's reflect, guys. We have got the series to dissect now. And Renegades, instead of just kind of patting them on the back and saying you did really well, let's focus on what they were up against. These MIBR boys, what made it look so damn easy on that second half, Jacob?
I think they just faced a better team today. I don't think Renegades played a bad game by any means. I don't think Renegades played worse than they did in the first stage of the Major, to be completely honest. I just think they faced another level today in MIBR. The constant aggression coming out from them, they weren't able to deal with it. You saw JKim, you saw JKS, the 2 star players of the team showing up in moments, but they weren't able to consistently do it against the likes of Fur, Cold Zero, and Fallen, and that is a big task to ask for as well.
Yeah, I think what Renegades really lacked in this tournament was, a fast pace on their T side. We mentioned in the pregame that when they're down 4 versus 5, they have the lowest win percentage, and that's because they have these slow rounds. And we saw MIBR get these picks time and time again throughout this series. And Renegades just can't come back from that because they're so spread apart and moving so slowly.
How much do you think Renegades, not the map pick, but the performances of Cold Zera, how much did that factor in, do you think?
Oh, definitely. It factored in a lot, actually. MIBR's aggression, particularly out of those 2 players and Fallen, just countlessly gave them the man advantage in the early rounds. And this is, like I said, it's just not something Renegades could come back from.
I definitely agree. I think Renegades, especially on their CT sides in this tournament, showed a lot of glimpses of what we can expect for the future. Very strong fundamentals, very good setups. They're playing off each other. But when it comes to the T side, and when they have to be the aggressive part, when they're in the 4 versus 5, when they have to open up the rounds, they're simply not good enough. I think they're ending this tournament being the worst rated team in terms of winning those 4 versus 5 situations in entirety, and also one of the worst teams at getting opening kills in the entire game. So there's definitely some aggression they need to learn, but that's just another aspect you can add to this Renegades lineup, because they're looking dangerous.
Especially when given time to prepare. An interesting point you guys have already raised, I think, after Dust 2, but I think it's worth bringing here to the reflection of Renegades' departure at the Major, is that this is a team that prepare heavily, and they could not prepare for a team like MIBR.
Yeah, exactly, which was why it was such a weird thing that they picked us too, right? Obviously, they're very confident in their own game, and they should be. You saw so much innovation, and again, on their pistol rounds throughout this series, so much innovation, so many things that other teams aren't even thinking about on their pistol rounds. But yeah, Dust 2, it just seemed like they weren't ready for that aggression, and maybe if they had demos to prepare for, they would have been.
And what I'm not ready for is to hear from the other side of the server. Renegades have been kind enough to offer us a little bit of a perspective as they sat down or stood up with Frankie after their loss.
JKS, I want to talk about your experience